but what I'd say is like four was a departure from the actual like very overly like
Yeah,
parodies of Vice City. Vice City was a parody of Scarface. Fucking San Andreas is a parody of Boys in the Hood. We know this. We accept
yeah,
that.
we know that, but like what I think what Grand Theft Auto 4. I know we're going off on a bit of a tangent, but
No, no, it's fine. Stop talking.
Grand Theft Auto 4 was one of those storylines where you're like, well, hold on a minute, this is getting almost too real now. Guy
Yeah.
comes over on a boat from a war-torn Eastern Europe. So you're basically saying this guy's come over from Kosovo because the country's been torn apart in the late 90s.
Mm.
He's emigrated over. His cousin's got a fucking cab company. It is very much to the rock star diaspora of let's milk the stereotype, right? So Eastern European
Yeah.
comes over on a fucking on a tanker illegally. His brother runs a
Mm.
cab company. He gets into organized crime. It is almost laughable how stereotypical it is, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it got very real for a lot of people because they're like, I know a Polish guy who came over like this. I know people around the
Mm.
corner who like I literally have neighbors back home who fled Albania after the economy collapsed
Yeah.
to come
Yeah.
here. And it's like,
Common
wow,
story.
okay, it may be stereotypical as the usual Grand Theft Auto rhetoric is, but it's
Mm.
also very raw, very real. As in,
Mm.
this shit is happening right now. Like this, it may be a game, but it is happening in real life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought they hit a nail on the head with it.
Well, that's what's it. You see, like I think like I said, what a compliment like Grand Theft Auto 4 we're trying something different in a sense. I'm also one of those people that would prefer the parody to the super serious because I think
Sure.
there'll be other games that'll come around and be a serious, gritty sandbox game. And I don't think the people that would write Grand Theft Auto are strong enough to do something that heavy constantly. You know, I think they
Yeah.
looked out a bit with four, but I think like when people will, depending on when you jumped in on Grand Theft Auto, if you jumped in on say since number one and you're used to the over the top comedy, fucking like wackiness, let's say.
Yeah, like GTA London was a fucking laugh and a half. Like,
Yeah, but you're gonna hate the likes of 4 and 5 now because it's gone in that direction of like, oh, you guys are actually taking this seriously now. It's like, no, you take it seriously. There's nothing to take seriously of, kind of way. Like you
yeah,
are the piss takers here. That's what your job is, you know. So now that you've gone in this way now of thinking like, okay, let's actually make this a genuinely serious game with serious social commentary and
yeah,
characters to latch onto and so forth. Well, I understand it. I can respect with the way they were going because they wanted to do something different with the access to graphics that they have. I can also understand why I don't have that fondness for
hmm
4 and 5 that I do have Vice City, and it's not rose into glasses. It's solely because there's a distinct lack of fun. It's a different experience, and while the story is more engaging and the character like out of all the protagonists, Nico is probably the most relatable of them all because the rest of them are all fucking psychopaths. Whereas with Nico, we can actually say, oh, this guy is actually genuinely trying to make a better life for himself. It's just that, again, coming from Serbia, war torn, fucking after the crash of the wall, he has had to have lived this life. He had no choice. Whereas
yep,
you could actually say about the character, yeah, he seems like a good skin. Like he actually does seem like he wants to improve his life. But this is the life he knows. He can't live any other way. Whereas with Tommy Vercetti, I don't think he can hear anyone over the cocaine habit he has. And I love Tommy. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a wonderful character, but it's the same difference. It's that
yeah,
like you can't reason with this fucker. Likewise with CJ being the kind of your stereotypical gangbanger, like rags to riches story. Like fuck it, just like stamp on everyone to go get to where you are. Um, and then the guys in Grand Theft Auto 5 are almost deliberately unpalatable, bar Franklin. Franklin is a CJ stand-in. He is the same
yeah,
story. Michael is, I suppose, the most original of the three, and then Trevor is just a fucking kick to the balls every time you see him. Like he's the player analog, he's the player insert, and like is supposed to be a reflection on your average guy, gamer playing a sandbox game, and that's probably explains why I don't like him. Like he's such a
yeah. I
prick.
mean, the
You
idea. I mean, I like the backstory that like Michael faked his death to kind of get out of that life type of thing.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I thought Michael was the later version of Tommy Vercetti, almost like it was. You could have had Ray Liotta play him, and it
Mm.
wouldn't have made a fucking speck of difference. It would have still been the same character. He's
Like
like Tommy
he
Vercetti,
was
but he's
like
a little
Tony
bit more
Soprano.
set in his ways.
That's
Yeah.
he's a Tony Soprano parody, and like in a way that he's trying to capture that energy, but just didn't do it as good.
God's sake, Jonathan, really?
I was out of ammo and I didn't have a car, so I said, "Fuck it, I'll just respawn to this." That was actually tactical. That was tactical. Like fuck this is not working. Get me back to
Tactical
the
suicide. Like,
yeah. But hey, look, full ammo, full health. No one's the wiser. But but yeah, like I think that's. But what I was going to say there was that once GTA 4 made that switch over to committing to the realism part, let's say, what was very telling is that every other game, like Sandbox game, goes, okay, let's do something different than ourselves. Let's differentiate ourselves from the Grand Theft Auto formula. So, again, famously, the driver games were kind of like would obviously predate the modern Grand Theft Auto mold, but they had this kind of weird, like, why won't you notice me, senpai relationship with Rockstar.
yeah.
To the extent where like they basically Driver 3 ended up being a really badly made Grand Theft Auto clone, and then with the game after that they actually tried to do an original concept and was much better, but it was still trying to be Grand Theft Auto in places, and it's just like, lads, just fucking give it a rest, be yourselves. And then you end up with Driver San Francisco, which is genuinely one of the best sandbox games you could play. Then you have like the likes of Crackdown doing stuff that's similar, very gang oriented, very much like chaos and anarchy, all this sort of stuff. And again, for when with Rockstar like games go left with Grand Theft Auto 4, you had Saints Row going right with their games. And as grounded as fucking Grand Theft Auto got, Saints Row got more ridiculous and is a funner experience as a consequence.
I actually never ever took to Saints Row. I fucking never liked Saints Row. I tried, but I could never ever appreciate it or like it. I don't know why.
I was cold on Saints Row for a long time, and then I said, do you know what, fuck, I'll give it a go. I jumped in on 3 and then eventually 4, and I genuinely loved them because they were the piss take that we were looking for with Sandbox games. Because not only were they a piss take outright of Grand Theft Auto 4. That was the whole point. They were taking the mickey out of how this game was now suddenly taking itself so seriously. Because like I said, the first 2 Saints Row games are vanilla by comparison. They are a bit ridiculous in places, but not wall-to-wall insanity to the extent where like number 4 has a dubstep gun. That's the degree of insanity we're working with here. So
like I seen some of the clips from Saints Row, the newest one, and the bugs were atrocious. Like, it was really badly made.
It looks quite. I haven't touched it myself, for fear of what I might find. But yeah, But like I said, but that's the thing. Like I think like every Sandbox game, even at the time, we're trying to do something different. Like we've already played True Crime on this, and that did the hodgepodge gameplay before San Andreas did, and oh my fucking god, was it terrible? Because like you had a mixture of shooting, driving, stealth, and fighting game. And I was like, oh no, lads, you're not ready to do all 4. You need to decide what you are and then come back to us later. Another one that we haven't actually played on this channel, but we have on Nerds of Rust, is Omicron, the Nomad Soul. You might know it more so as the David Bowie game, where he was executive producer and actually features in it himself as his music. And that was another Sandbox game that had hodgepodge gameplay, where had actual open world like exploration and stuff, but like fighting, shooting, and puzzles as well. Shit to shoot. So everyone had their own spin on it once the genre was kind of like discovered, but it was all almost degrees of separation from Grand Theft Auto because, as I said, that was a mold breaker in a sense.
Yeah.
Same way now that every battle royale game has to be Fortnite plus, kind of way. Same idea.
Yeah.
So,
true.
Yeah, fortunately, that's the way it is.
There's been so many games that have like cult status that were absolutely fucking god awful. Like it.
Very much rose tinted games. Like
yeah.
You remember them being good, and then you play them again and you go, oh fuck, this is awful.
Like I remember being addicted to Die Hard Trilogy on the PlayStation 1, right?
Oh, Dave, no, don't do
And
that to yourself.
yeah, Die Hard Trilogy for the PlayStation 1 because it was one of the very few games you had when it came out.
Yeah.
So it was always going to be fucking excellent to you. Do you know what I mean? So you
Mm.
go back and look at it now and you're like, this came out at the same time Metal Gear Solid did.
Yeah.
How the fuck did I think this was in any way,
Yeah.
shape, or form good? How?
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, how the
It's the folly of
fuck?
youth, Dave. I'm thinking not having the standards. Yeah.
Oh, agility skill increase. You're not quite buffed
Yeah.
up to the full yet, but you're getting there.
Yeah, yeah. So this
Um,
is me now starting to figure out how this game works. Like, okay, right. Okay.
because you never played this, did you? Before this,
Never. I have
never.
never
Okay,
generally the like this for the first playing this was the first time I've even had an Xbox.
wow.
Like never took
I
the Xbox. I was a Sony fanboy for my entire life.
I was a Sony never go anywhere else fanboy
Mm.
until I compared the 360 to the PS3 and the Xbox won the fight just purely because of how easy it was to use. The interface was fantastic.
Mm.
The online capabilities were second to none. I mean, Xbox was the innovator of, you know, online gaming really
Yeah.
for consoles.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can understand that. Now that being
And
said,
it
like
had
like
everything.
yeah, and like I said, it would perhaps I would have changed a little bit in that sense, but I was kind of happy enough with the tree myself. Um, especially considering like I didn't really give a flying shit about the online play anyway, so I was happy to just be kind of like a sad loner with my PS3 huffing away as it blows itself into an early grave.
Like don't
Compared
get
with
me wrong, don't get me wrong. Like the PS3 had some cracking games. I remember Heavy Rain when it came out. Like my mate had a
mm,
PS3, and it was like, man, this game looks so fucking good. Do you know what I mean? Like some of the PlayStation IPs and the exclusives that they had were brilliant. Do you know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
definitely not denying that the PS3 had some cracking games, but as a console, it was so fucking boring to me.
mm,
Just drab, just your basic menus, your no, it wasn't that I was looking for anything fancy, but I suppose when you switch the Xbox on, it
mm,
was just I suppose we were a bit spoiled when it came to silly little things. Like it was very colorful. You had
yeah.
your own little avatar that you could customize. I mean, this stuff was never there before.
But
You know,
that's the same as the PS2 though, isn't it? Like the PS2 had like just those small the little quirky things like the fucking like
yeah,
your memory card
absolutely.
icons and it's just small things like that just like kind of get to it's like yeah what I would describe now as a member berry. It's like oh this is like it's being back home
Yeah,
again, you know?
exactly. Like you can customize everything, and the
Mm,
big thing was obviously PS3 could do this as well, but you put your own music into games. Like you could literally switch
mm,
your MP3s on a side menu when you were playing the
yeah.
likes of Grand Theft Auto. You turn the radio off, you put your own radio on. You know, things
Oh
like
man,
that.
that era was so handy for
Yeah,
WWE games because
yeah,
fucking hell,
exactly.
like just
Oh
good
my
luck
god.
getting licensed music off that game, like.
Yeah, like when I had the WWE games for the Xbox and the Xbox 360,
Mm,
like we would create wrestlers and literally you could upload your MP3 and it would show up in the menu of theme songs that you wanted to use.
yeah,
So you could create your own wrestler and have whatever fucking theme song you wanted. It was
and the
amazing.
grand irony of it is now you legally can't do that now because of all the streaming services, which is
Yeah, you
such a
can't do
grand
that.
irony of it is because if any wrestling game out there, whether it be WWE, Fire Club Pro, or fucking Fight Forever, if one of them just got a blanket agreement with Spotify, they win. They will just objectively win because then you could have a creator wrestler with any music you want.
Yeah.
Like it's nuts when you think of it that way, but that's just the nature of the
I
world it
still
is.
I still have to buy Fight Forever, and I think the biggest reason I want to buy Fight Forever is because it does look like a fun throwback to the old SmackDown games. You know,
Mm,
SmackDown 1 and 2. It does have that little throwback to that feel. You know, where
yeah.
you could have literally fucking anything like barbed wire death matches, you know what I mean?
They
Fucking
definitely gone to
stupid
capture that
things.
no mercy feel to it, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But at the same
Like
token,
that's
like
not a
this is
bad
their
thing. Do you know
first
what I
go
mean?
at it.
That's not a
So
bad thing
yeah.
at all. I
No.
mean, you have WWE 2K. I loved like I bought every WWE game up until 13.
Hmm.
That was me after that. I didn't buy any more after that because the 2K games just got too fucking technical. I couldn't do a move without having to press 17 different fucking button
Yeah,
combinations.
I had that same issue as well. Like
I was like, no, I'm not. No. Mm-mm.
I'm a big supporter of less is more when it comes to wrestling gameplay.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Like the 2K versions of the games, like every time they come out every year, I'm like, ooh, I'm intrigued. And then it gets to it, and you're like, nah, I can't be arsed. Like what?
Yeah, that's
Because
it. Like,
they took the linear storyline away from it. They took the thing that I played it most for was going from, you know, newbie to multi-time WWE champion, and I can't remember which one it was. It might have been SmackDown versus Raw 08 or 07, where I could end the year being the ECW and WWE champion like Rob Van Dam was.
yeah.
You could have multiple titles at once, and I thought, oh, this is cool. Like I'm doing it exactly the way RVD did it. And
yeah,
like,
and that's cute. That's great. Like that was a selling point of those games back then, you know. But then like they kind of went away from that because let's face it, they ran out of ideas. Like it was
yeah,
so hard to fucking to come up with ideas that were like they were not good enough to do in real life, but also not shit enough that people would like
yes,
without play the game. Then so you know.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. The community creations for 2K23 and the 2K games the last 3 years have been phenomenal. They've really opened the game up to be anything you want it to be. Like you can recreate WCW, which you will also see on this channel and other different.
You'll see on Nerds of Us, yes.
Yeah, the Nerds of Us channel. But the fact that you can do that and bring in literally any wrestler you want now from any promotion with any ring and any arena, any stadium you want is unbelievable. But big but here has it become too customizable to the point where you can't fucking do anything because you don't know how. Like these guys are creating fucking masterpieces, whereas you're like, I can't do that. I can download it.
Yeah.
Well, you're given almost too much choice. Like, oh no, do I want to recreate Nitro? Do I want to recreate like the Attitude Era? What do I want to do? There's too much choice.
Yeah, that's the difference when like when you if you're trying to play the game casually and you know what you want to do but you can't put it off. That's I get that.
Like if you could take, for example, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Mankind, Undertaker, Kane, all of those. Drop them in with today's Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins. You know, do Seth Rollins against Shawn Michaels. Do Bray Wyatt against The Undertaker, like from back then. You know what I mean? Not current Undertaker. Do all these things with current superstars. Like you literally could take Luchasaurus and put him against Kane. You know, Luchasaurus from AEW. You know what I mean? You could do silly little matches like that. That'd be great. But you could only do them in a singular way. You couldn't do it like, just throw that can and fucking blow yourself up.
Well, I did try.
But you can't.
An attempt was made.
But you can't do that.
Hey guys, look, I'm making myself a bigger target.
Yep. You couldn't build a storyline with those like wrestlers in there. I think that's
Yeah. But it's always the same way. Like the gameplay evolves from itself, and it almost evolves itself into submission a little bit. So that's why it's like kind of nice to get like a little bit of a reassess, and again, nice to have competition. You know, in a
absolutely.
It has been pretty much a one-horse race since I don't know, like fucking since there's been a one-horse race for years, decades, even. You know, outside of Fire Pro, but that's a top-down 2D. It's different. You know, it's not
yes, absolutely.
It's not comparable. You know. So this fucking nightclub is well guarded, isn't it?
This is fucking like where the cocaine is. It's gonna be guarded. You know what I mean? It's gonna be guarded.
Well, to be fair, like we've had like people just like outright just chasing after us on the street. It's like, oh wow, they really want to protect this kind of stuff. Holy shit! But yeah, I can see that like this is definitely one. I think I must have come across this one too early because like the actual entry level into this is quite steep. But again,
and your firearm skill is see this lock-on system? Bullshit. I fucking hated it so much.
It just makes no fucking sense. Like there's a car, there's two guys running after you, and you like target onto the car, like.
Yeah, and then you've like that. What happened there? It's like your reticle is so close to the guy, yet you can't lock onto him, but it'll lock onto the guy 10,000 feet behind him. Like fuck off.
Oh yeah, like they really fucked this up, like, and then like it like eventually I just kind of like I do adapt to it eventually. I just kind of accepted like, okay, this is shit. I am just gonna have to roll with the punches
Yep.
and see how I get on. And of course, leveling up with the firearms does help that, in fairness, because you just end up killing them quicker.
Yep.
Like this is
Like
definitely
the-
one of those sandbox games where it rewards you for exploring first.
Yeah.
Compared to say something like GTA where you could just get to the missions now and get done. You know, kind of like
Yeah, like I mean, the thing about Crackdown was it was literally just it was so repetitive. Like this was the game. This was it. Like what you're doing
yeah.
now is what the entire game consists of. Which, like, I was like, oh, this is fun for about an hour or two, and then it kind of
As I'd
was like,
say, this is
okay.
why Dave is happy he's only in for the first leg.
It was, oh, well, not really. Like, I would do the whole thing, but the fact is, if I did the whole thing, well, this is it. Like you're looking
Yeah.
at what you have to do now for the rest of the game.
Hooray!
I love the destructible environment marker. I'm like, I'm all for that. You can break this down. Thank you for telling me. I
Yeah,
appreciate you telling me this.
that's just like this is the break stuff icon.
Yeah,
Go break that
I love
stuff.
that. I literally thought that was bags of cocaine on the ground. I was
My head
like,
didn't even got a shield
whoa,
back.
okay. Holy shit. Couple of lines and we are good to go.
Exactly, yeah.
This channel does not condone the use or anything drug related whatsoever. Well, holy fuck, where'd they all come from?
This channel does not condone the use of drugs, but let me just say it would really help in the editing process.
Like, where the fuck did these, like, 10 of them just appeared out of a wall?
Is 10 of them in single file, making them
Yeah,
the
exactly,
perfect
like-
target for a grenade. Like honestly, like I appreciate the hustle, lads.
Need to reload then.
Mm. Poor silly old me forgot the reload button. So here we are.
You just
I-
run out
I-
and let it auto reload. I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Reload. That's fine.
No, but the lads always say this whenever I'm playing these games. Like I always seem to do like an unintentional challenge run, whereas it's like in Far Cry I never used the secondary weapons. It's like yeah, because I didn't know they existed. Fuck
Now,
off.
see, that fucking annoys me right there. You're trying to shoot down, he's meleeing the wall. I'm like, what are you meleeing the wall for? You can
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah, it just needed a little bit more polish, and that was it.
Oh no, Esteban number 780. What are we gonna do?
In fairness, I was a fan of him. Now he was a gentle lover.
Literally looks like a very tall Smeagol. Like, that guy looked like Gollum.
I think he just killed Andy Serkis. I hope not.
Oh, he's not wearing a fucking. He's like Mike Mazanin. Like, the
Yeah.
Miz at the beginning with the fucking fedora.
Legit, like these lads are all fucking Conan cosplayers, and it's fucking tragic. Like honestly, they are such stereotypes. All they are doing is like shopping in the one place, and they don't have wife beaters or cons. They're wearing the same fucking button-down shirts and getting the same hats.
Yep, same hats. Like, fedoras.
Like, fuck's sake, like, that's-
both buy your fedoras, boys.
Like I know I can't talk because I shop at this one place all the time as well. But here's the thing: I'm not a gang leader. You know, I don't need to be fashionable.
Fucking hell. Easy, lads. Jesus.
You can't park there, mate.
Yeah, there's a dumpster.
Now, at which point do you think that car is totaled? Because it looks pretty bad to me.
It looks bad, but at the same time, you're like, oh, now he gets out. Like, you
Now
can
he gets it.
pummel the car with bullets. They do not penetrate.
No,
But then he gets out and you're like, you know, ragdoll, whatever.
I do love the fact that kicking the shit out of them is always an option.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and again, there's nothing more satisfying than ragdoll physics. Case in point.
Again, this was before Grand Theft Auto 4.
Hmm. Well, sure, Microsoft would have had they're the pioneers of ragdoll physics
True.
when they had access to Half-Life.
True, actually. That's a good point. Because
Yeah.
didn't Halo have that as well?
Halo had it as well, yeah. So
That's another thing. I was PlayStation until the 360, so I never had the whole Halo fandom
Yeah,
I
I
never
missed the
had an
Halo
original
pulse
Xbox. You
completely.
know what I mean?
Yeah, but then you see, I've kind of said before that I'm not a fan of shooters at all. Like I just find the whole genre incredibly boring, particularly the military shooters. Are
Fair,
just like
fair.
literally, I played Medal of Honor for PS1, and the game formula has not changed since. Oh, hello.
Uh,
We literally just stumbled upon the boss. And let's blow the fucker up. Grenade.
I
More
love that.
grenades.
Like again, he's got a standard 4 blocks of health. Like you know, boom, 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 boom.
And literally
Boom,
just like
boom,
aiming
boom,
for
boom.
his head just constantly.
Yeah, like
And
constant
I legit,
headshots.
I am just wait. There's 4 other people shooting at me here. I'm just waiting him out. And I managed to kill him with a root up the hole. Fantastic.
Intel is downloading straight to your personal network, agent. You can thank the peace.
Well done, agent. Now let's give you a reason why cocaine is bad.
Timely demise spells the end of his club. And of Los Muertos
As you can see here, this drug lord is now going to jail.
And they're using the
no, he's
morgue.
dead. Never mind. Sorry, I got the wrong file again.